Madam Curie School of Science and Technology and Curie Learning After School, founded by Dr. Rao Mullapuri.
Hi, I'm Bhanu Illindra, founder of BBI LawGroup PC. We are proud to announce that for the past 8 years, we are serving with immigration and other legal services. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach us anytime. Thank you.
నమస్కారం. పిలుపు కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం సుస్వాగతం. నా పేరు గోపినాథ్. ప్రముఖ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అటర్నీ, బీబీఐ లా గ్రూప్ వ్యవస్థాపకులైన భాను ఇల్లింద్ర గారు ఈరోజు మన స్టూడియోలో ఉన్నారు. వారితోటి కొన్ని ముఖ్యమైన విషయాలు ముచ్చటిద్దాం ఈరోజు. నమస్కారం భాను గారు.
నమస్కారం గోపి.
ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
బాగున్నాను సార్.
మా ప్రేక్షకులు లాస్ట్ టైం మీతోటి ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేసినప్పుడు ఇట్ వాజ్ ఎ హ్యూజ్ సక్సెస్ షో. చాలా మంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మా ప్రేక్షకులు ఇచ్చారు. అలాగే మా ప్రేక్షకులు ఈసారి చాలా క్వశ్చన్స్ పంపించడం జరిగింది. ఆ క్వశ్చన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతూ మీ లా గ్రూప్ గురించి కూడా మాట్లాడుతూ ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. ఈరోజు మన కార్యక్రమంలోకి వెళ్లే ముందు మీ గురించి కొన్ని విషయాలు మా ఆడియన్స్ పంచుకుంటారా? హై లెవెల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్.
డెఫినెట్లీ గోపి గారు. నమస్కారం అండి. నా పేరు భాను ఇల్లింద్ర. I'm a founder of the law firm called BBI LawGroup PC. We are located in London, Virginia, Andy. We exclusively practice in immigration law, Andy. Therefore, we can represent the clients across the country in all 50 states, irrespective of where our office is located. We represent in various immigration matters, Andy, like H-1B visas, L-1 visas, J-1 visas, O-1 visas, P visas, some U visas also. Along with it, we do some diplomatic visas applications as well. At the same time, we do F1 visas, F1 change of status applications, and the visas, B1, B2 extensions basically. And we do a lot of H4s, EAD applications, I-130s, I-140s. I mean, just employment-based immigration, like green cards, like EB1, EB2, EB3 category cases, and like investor visas, EB5 investor visas, other non-immigrant treaty visas like E1, E2, E3 visas. Actually, we represent all facets of immigration law. We do even removal proceeding cases also. We do asylums also. We do quite a few Department of Labor audit cases with wage and hour divisions. We work with them quite a lot. And so, as I said, we exclusively practice in immigration and related laws across the 50 states in the US. And we are located in London, Virginia. And if any information you need on the immigration law, kindly feel free to reach us. You can visit us through our website, www.bbilawgroup.com, or you can reach me on my email, bhanu@bbilawgroup.com. My office phone number is 703-496-7722. So we are always available to you guys from 10 to 7, 10 a.m. to 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So kindly feel free to reach us.
Let us talk about what is happening in United States. So such as visa bulletin అయితేనేమి, USCIS fees increase గురించి కానీ. So yeah, let's start with those things and then we'll go further.
Definitely, Andy. As I said, there are three. Visa bulletin is every month కొత్త bulletin వస్తుంటుందండి. But there were some positive news from the State Department. Oppenheimer mentioned when they released the December visa bulletin అప్పుడు that EB2 category dates will move forward. And they said that there will be a tremendous movement sometime in March 2017 time around. So we have to look around, we have to watch out that. So that is a very good news for the Indian nationals, because a lot of Indian nationals EB2 cases are pending. Now their priority date is around 2009 right now. So a lot of people will be able to file their adjustment of status applications. Therefore, they can anticipate getting their green cards in the near future. So that's a very good news with the visa bulletin, because we were waiting to hear that from Mr. Oppenheimer, and he basically expressed that. So that is one set of the visa bulletin. Second thing is basically as we all know that USCIS has increased the fees for all the applications. And one more important thing is that recently in November, USCIS published new regulations for the I-140, EAD and job portability for the immigrant workers. Regulations basically. That's a very important regulation from the USCIS. Those regulations have four important aspects basically. One is it provides EADs for certain type of individuals who have I-140 approved. Second is basically is that if the I-140 is approved and pending for more than 180 days, approved for more than 180 days, and if the employer withdraws after 180 days of approval, that I-140 is considered valid for the purpose of seeking H-1B extensions beyond 6 years.
Okay.
If their immigrant visas are not available.
Okay.
What I mean to say immigrant visas means their priority dates for the green card.
Right.
If they're not available, basically, if they're not current for them, they can able to get the 6-year extensions beyond normal 6 years period.
That's right.
And other thing is basically is that these regulations also provide 10 days grace period for H-1B workers. After their H-1B is completed, they have to leave the country. They have 10 days legal period.
So that's for those layoff workers.
Layoff workers, basically. And also, it also allows, there's one more provision also given basically, that if the H-1B workers, if they get laid off or terminated, and if they want to find an alternative employment, they have 60 days time to find an alternative employment, and they can get a H-1B extension done, or transfer can be done out within those 60 days. So that's a very good relief because presently there's no such relief is available. If H-1B is terminated or laid off, he is considered to be out of status from the day he gets laid off. But right now they're giving that 60-day grace period for them to find an alternative employer.
Nice. That's a great relief.
That's a great relief. That's a great relief for a lot of H-1B workers, and also a lot of relief for a lot of employers who are in need of these H-1B workers, because they're also able to find the right talent for their need and everything. So it's a very good relief by the USCIS. They did it by the regulation rather than by executive order. So although it's part of the executive order, part of the Obama executive order policy, but they've done it through the regulations. So that's a very good thing.
Sure. So thank you very much. That's a wealth of information.
Madam Curie School of Science and Technology and Curie Learning After School, founded by Dr. Rao Mullapuri, a passionate teacher and dedicated mentor. Madam Curie School of Science and Technology is exemplary for early childhood education, focusing on STEM and arts. A fun, safe, and caring place. A warm environment for kids to discover, explore, learn, and grow. Built to develop the social and cognitive skills of every child. Curie Learning After School is a premier after-school institute for academic excellence from kindergarten to high school, enrichment and advancement programs in English, math, and sciences, skilled coaching for Thomas Jefferson, Academy of Science, Academy of Engineering and Technology, SAT and ACT, contributing more than 10% of freshmen to Thomas Jefferson every year. Curie Learning, the one-stop shop for all your kids' academic needs. Visit us at www.curielearning.com.
సో ఎలాగో మా ప్రేక్షకులకి మీ గురించి, మీ బీబీఏ లా గ్రూప్ గురించి కూడా మరిన్ని విషయాలు తెలియజేయాలి. మా బాధ్యత కూడా అది. ఎందుకంటే పర్సనల్గా మా పిలుపు టీవీకి ప్రైమ్ స్పాన్సర్స్ మీరు. అలాగే మా తెలుగు కమ్యూనిటీ అయినా, ఏ కమ్యూనిటీ అయినా, ఇండియన్ కమ్యూనిటీ మొత్తానికి దాదాపుగా మీరు అందరికీ తెలిసిన వాళ్ళే. పర్సనల్గా నాకు కూడా మీరు బాగా పరిచయస్తులే. మరి మీ బీబీఏ లా గ్రూప్ గురించి కొన్ని విషయాలు చెప్పుకునే ముందు జస్ట్ నాకు క్వశ్చన్. ఇఫ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు రేట్ యూ ఆర్ ఆన్ ద టాప్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఈ ఊర్లో చాలా మంది ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అటర్నీస్ ఉన్నారు. ఎవరి గురించి మనం తప్పుగా ఏం మాట్లాడద్దు, బట్ అందరూ మంచోళ్ళే ఉంటారు. హౌ డిఫరెంట్ ఆర్ యూ ఫ్రమ్ అదర్ అటర్నీస్?
It's a very difficult question. It's a very difficult question. To be honest with you, every attorney is well qualified, and they're all well educated. They have put hard work and sincere work beyond where they are right now, and what work they do and everything. I'm very confident that their clients will be very happy with them, and I'm very sure that they're doing great service to their clients. So please, my salute to them for their service and everything. And at the same time, if it comes to us, basically is that what comes with our law firm is that you get that personal touch with us. You have one-on-one interaction with us, and we'll make sure that each and every document is properly reviewed and case is properly addressed. It's not like we just blindly, because we are not like a factory, like a paper factory or something like that, where you give the documents, we put it and we'll send it. and we will give you a tracking number on the next day saying that, oh, your document has been mailed as promised.
Right.
That's not what we do. We basically take our time, we review the documents properly, we'll make sure that the documents are properly meeting the regulation requirements or not, or they are genuine or not. Sometimes we have a questions with the clients whether they're providing the proper information to us or not. Because if that information is not correct, if you submit that information to the USCIS, USCIS might deny their benefit.
Right.
So it might actually harm them rather than helping them, or rather than giving them the benefit what they're seeking from the USCIS.
Right.
So we basically take the time and effort to put on that. Sometimes our clients will be unhappy with us because we take some time, a little bit more time than other people, but it's all in their best interest. That's what we do, and I think many of our clients understand that. That's the reason why we are able to survive and still able to generate our business. And main thing what we'd say is that we give you that one-on-one interaction. We give you that personal touch. If any questions are there, I will be personally accessible to you all. You'll be able to reach me one way or another, and I'll be able to answer to all my clients and everything. That is one thing I can proudly say about my law firm. Other thing is basically is that we are very small boutique law firm, so we have that family environment in working culture and everything. So people are very jovial. They're energetic basically, and that environment is what makes us really good. It's a family environment.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
With the kind of experience that we have with your law firm and personal association with you and your firm, I assure that he is highly qualified as an immigration attorney. Thank you very much. That was very very detailed information.
Thank you, sir.
So మరి మా ప్రేక్షకులు కొన్ని ప్రశ్నలు పంపించారు.
Sitara Spa and Salon for all your beauty needs. Excellent customer service for hair and makeup for all special occasions. Specialize in eyebrow threading, waxing, and facials in a clean environment. Separate rooms and clean equipment for every service. Experience stress-relieving scalp and shoulder massages. Best organic products and services. Special discounts for all special occasions. Offers training for a minimum fee. For appointments, call 703-955-7763.
సో దెర్ ఆర్ సమ్ మన వీసాస్ అందరు దాదాపు మీకు తెలిసిన H1B వీసాస్ ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి. సో వాటిల్లో ఏమవుతుందంటే కొంతమంది ఎంప్లాయర్స్కి ఆ వీసాలు రాకపోవడం, ఈ లాటరీ సిస్టంలో రాకపోవడం, అలాగే క్వాలిఫైడ్ ప్రొఫెషనల్స్ వాళ్ళకి దొరక్కపోవడం జరుగుతుంది. సో ఆర్ దర్ ఎనీ ఆల్టర్నేట్స్ టు దీస్ H1B visas for promoting these qualified professionals or something like that?
Definitely, there are a lot of programs basically, but they are not popular. Even they're not popular with the USCIS to a certain extent. That's probably the reason why those programs are not that much utilized. But these days we are seeing USCIS encouraging in those programs. For example, alternative H1B visas, basically you have L1 visas for intra-company transfers, and but that is only for the intra-company transferees. And if you don't have intra-company, you are not transferring your employee, but you want to hire a qualified professional from outside, then you have other alternatives. Basically, you have a O1 visa, which basically gives them an opportunity to hire a person. But obviously, standards are different from the O1 visa. We have to show that the position is extraordinary qualified position, basically, and those standards can be met. It's not that if the guy is qualified, if the guy is important, those standards can be met. And that alternative visa is available. And also J1 visa, which is a visitor exchange student training program, which is a very good program because those training program allows the people who come on a visitor exchange visitor program, exchange visitor visa program, to work up to 18 months basically. And a lot of institutions use this program, and USCIS authorizes, designates these institutions that they are entitled to get the J1 visa programs, and J1s, and those people will be able to supply the high qualified professionals, and those personals can be utilized. That program can be utilized very well in alternative to H1B visa, and USCIS will be very happy to encourage those programs for the highly skilled professionals basically. And those two are very very easily qualified alternatives for H1B visa, and there are other visas available, but I do not want to discuss about them right now. Because these two are probably the most important ones. I think employers should explore those opportunities, and look into those opportunities and work on them. Obviously, alternative is basically is that if the students have an OPT extensions, basically, if they're an OPT status, if they're students, and if they have OPT status, they can even hire them and basically continue, hopefully able to utilize those qualified professional services for their needs. And as we know that there's a very high demand in the professional services like in medicine, in healthcare industry and in IT industry. And many of these visas are utilized in these industries, in these both industries, healthcare industry and the IT industry.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's a lot of information about these visas. So, ఇప్పుడు EB5 ఇన్వెస్టర్ వీసా గురించి చాలా మంది చెప్తారు EB5 ఇన్వెస్టర్ అది ఇంత అమౌంట్ కట్టాలి, హై లెవెల్లో చెప్తారేమో కానీ కొంత డీటెయిల్స్ చాలా మందికి తెలియదు. సో అది కూడా వన్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ మాకు వచ్చిన క్వశ్చన్స్ లో ఉన్నాయి. సో దాని గురించి మా ప్రేక్షకులకి ఏమన్నా.
So EB5 investor visa program is nothing new program, and it's a very old program. It has been it came into existence from 1990 actually. USS enacted at the time thought that if they can attract the entrepreneurs, investors into this country with the foreign wealth coming in, so in that way foreign economy is coming, foreign currencies coming into the US, as well as at the same time it's going to generate jobs. It's going to create jobs in the US for the US workers. So keeping that in mind, Congress has enacted this program in 1990, but this program became very famous in the last 5-6 years basically. That too because of the lot of Chinese nationals started using this program, and they were a lot of people were able to utilize this program very successfully, able to come and invest here, and able to get their green cards accordingly, and able to make their families settle over here. And most of the times, this program is used just for the purpose of the quality of the life their children and their family can have in the United States. As we all know, we are all lucky to be living in this greatest nation on the earth, and there is no better nation than the America, and it's
exactly.
And this is the nation of freedom, and this is the nation of individual expression, freedom, and spirit. You in everywhere you see the freedom of spirit of freedom in this country, and no country gives better life than America.
Yes.
Environmentally, culturally, and also as far as the legally, basically, and lots of Chinese nationals and from third world countries like India and Chinese nationals are preferring to come to US on EB5 program because of the environmental issues. There's a quality of life there, and though they don't want their children to get exposed to that. That's why they're bringing them over here, and they want to use this program and so that their children can have a betterment of life over here. So that's how this EB5 program became famous. And also the advantage with this program is basically is that this program allows an investment for a commercial enterprise in the US, and it also required to create 10 jobs, 10 jobs to the US workers in the country. And in that way, it helps the economy by creating jobs as well as increasing the foreign GDP, foreign investments in the US basically. And I can talk in detail about this program in the next session or next program, because it's a very, this EB5 program itself will take one entire session to explain in detail. Even then also that could be only highlighting the information. Any other personal information is needed. We would prefer giving in case of on one-on-one basis, one-on-one case-by-case basis, and they are welcome to call me anytime to my law firm and to my cell phone in person also, and I'm very happy to discuss with them. We don't charge anything for appointments. We tend to give free appointments all the time. We think that's part of our service basically.
Great. So I'm sure our audience will have plenty of questions about this EB5 in future. So once we get that, we'll arrange for another session for this specific EB5 program. So thank you very much. But you really said great about United States. And that was very well said. So that's we are very fortunate to be living in this great country of United States. Thank you.
Great country in the world,
yeah.
Greatest nation in the world.
Greatest nation in the world, yeah. So, Bhanu sir, I'm more inspired now. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒక చిన్న క్వశ్చన్.
Worried about frequent breakdowns of your car? Are you overpaying for repairs? Car Clinic Virginia, pit stop for all your car needs. Auto body repair and auto repair. Our ASE certified technicians will diagnose, troubleshoot, and repair car problems to a standard you can trust. Save that cars in association with Car Clinic for trade-ins, buy, sell, or lease any car.
Car Clinic!
I've heard some good stories about good success stories about BBI LawGroup. So why don't we talk about that to our audience?
There are too many of them. I'm practicing for 14 years now in immigration law.
Yeah,
So-
let's do one. Let's take one and yeah.
Definitely, Ali. There are a couple of cases where I was really emotionally felt because I felt they were very serious issues because I felt like no human being should be in those positions, especially in those situations, because they have not done anything wrong, and we thought their fault if somebody basically takes advantage of them because of their own selfishness. It's a inhumane thing, and when you're aware of it, even though you don't make that much money, I think you should be able to work on that issue basically, and that's what I did in a couple of cases. Why I'm talking about these two cases are because, as I said, I was also personally felt a little bit emotionally. As a lawyer, I should not, but I did at the time because I felt they deserve this. They deserve the right decision coming into their to be on their side basically, and fortunately we were part of that. One of that is that one of this lady, she's happily married. She has an husband and she has two children, and her husband is basically on H-1B visa and she's also on H-4 visa, and she basically applies for a job and she gets this full-time employment with a company, and they file for H-1B for her because she is well qualified for the position. And then she works with that company for 3 months, and then later on something happens basically, and they basically asks her to. They say that they will put her into a different project, and they won't. And they were basically keep on communicating with her about placing her in a different project and everything. But sometime while these communications are happening, they don't even disclose to her that they're actually withdrawing her H-1B. As per regulations, they're required to notify employee whenever they basically terminating their employment, and then and after they're notifying employee, and they have to send a proper letter of revocation to the USCIS. Then it becomes a proper termination of the H-1B employment. So those people, the company actually failed to do that, and this is not a small company. It's a it's one of the mid-size. Large companies. They have a revenue around $500 million to $600 million company, and so they should not actually should have done that basically. And this lady did not know about that because she's still communicating with the marketing about the marketing issues and about the different projects and other things basically. And then one fine day, something has been finalized, and then she basically talked to their HR about this finalizing issue. And the HR tells basically, no, your H-1B has been terminated. You're no longer an employee. Then she was shocked basically because then why I was never notified.
Yeah.
And all those things come. Then HR said that I do not know what happened and everything, but the only thing I can tell is basically is that your H-1B has been terminated. You revoked. So only alternative is you find an alternative visa basically, and we can you go and file H-4 change of status or something like that. Then she does not know anybody to approach basically. So the HR refers the same lawyer which the company uses to file that H-1B petition. There's a conflict of interest for the lawyer. The lawyer should not have taken that case, but lawyers sometimes do take. Right. So this lady goes and does the paperwork and everything with the lawyer, and then H-4 application has been filed, but it's just a shell application. There is no information on the application basically. It's a shell application basically, and they submit that like a regular H-4 application, and then the RFE comes. In the RFE, lawyer doesn't say anything about what happened and everything. He just responds to the RFE as if nothing happened.
Right.
And he doesn't explain exactly what happened with the employer. It could be an error by the employer. I mean, sometimes these errors can happen. They may have no intention to hurt her or harm her by the employer, but there could be some error can happen on the employer side. But they should, but that error, even that is the issue, that issue should have been addressed by this lawyer. Unfortunately, lawyer didn't address this issue, so her H4 actually denied. Then they came to me basically asking me what they can do and everything. So basically, we advised her to file a motion to reopen, reconsider, and at the same time, we advised her to refile H4 non-pro-tunc also, as well as along with this MTR. The reason why we did that is because we don't know which processing times is faster at the time, and whichever is the faster, that will give her a benefit, because we were confident that she will be relieved for each and everything. So we documented that, and we basically questioned the lawyer why he failed to address that issue at the RFE stage in the H4. We didn't get a proper answer from the lawyer. We basically tried to reach the employer also. We didn't get the proper answer from the employer. We asked the employer and nobody gave us any proper answers. So we basically, obviously, we have to document everything, and we made a strong argument with the USCIS. Basically, we had two RFEs on that case.
Wow.
USCIS didn't approve it easily. They issued two RFEs basically to make sure that whether these facts are genuine or not.
Right.
So we basically addressed these RFEs, and then we basically went through this, and this lady was getting so emotional because she has two small children, and she cannot leave them and go abroad because the children are not in a position to travel, because one of the child has an asthma.
Wow.
So child cannot travel on a flight because he gets asthma attacks and everything. So she has a lot of worries because of that asthma attacks and everything. And so we told, don't worry, nothing to worry. I'm very confident that USS will approve your case, because the facts needs to be presented the right way and everything.
Right.
We presented the facts right way. We basically explained where the deficiency was in the previous petition, and the USCIS was able to approve that case within 60 days actually.
Wow.
And approved H4 change of status, and she's happy and everything. Even today also she texted me. This case happened 4 years ago. Even today also she texted me saying that, Bhanu, how are you? So basically what I'm saying is, such a big relief for her, and I felt very good about that. And as I said, one more case also, as I said, this lady basically, she comes into this country by getting married to H1B employee, and then after coming over here, he doesn't basically take her in. And he basically keeps her in her brother's house or keeps her somewhere else, but he never basically takes her to his house, basically, And when all these things are happening, basically, one day, basically, when she questions, basically, obviously, he takes her in, but his brother, his sister-in-law also are in this country. Everybody starts basically treating her very badly, and all those things were happening, basically. And then obviously she could not sustain those kind of a treatment. Then she goes back to her brother in Northeast states, basically. And because she wants to maintain because she knows that H4 is getting expired, she wants to maintain her status. Because her husband is not taking in, she tried to file an H1B with some employer, and unfortunately that H1B gets denied. For the reason, basically, she failed to make sure that she's maintaining valid status, because she could not provide any documentation from her husband's side.
That's bad.
That this is what is happening and everything. But at the same time, what husband does is basically he sends a divorce notice for her, and basically tells that, and informs the USCIS saying that she basically defrauded him and married him just to come to the US. And he sends this letter to the USCIS because he sends a copy. He puts that copy in the divorce petitions and everything, and he files a divorce case and everything and the divorce is happening somewhere in Minnesota, because he's in Minnesota. And this lady is now with her brother in Connecticut, basically. So it's a huge difficulty for her to go to Connecticut and everything. And because she doesn't have any status, because her H4 change of status is denied, her H4 is also basically expired, and she has no status basically, and she's illegal in this country. He's basically forcing her to become illegal in this country. And they approached several lawyers. They approached several lawyers, and several lawyers said that, I don't know what they said, whatever it is, basically, in the end, she came to us. They came to us. Basically, my brother came to us basically through some referral. Somebody referred our brother about a law firm, so they came to us. And the brother spoke with me. I said, I need to talk to her. I need to get the details correct. I want to know whether she's telling the truth to me or not. Because this time, I know that we had a lot of ERCs. Sometimes people take advantage of the visa programs and everything. So I wanted to make sure that is she a genuine person or she really taking advantage of the visa program and everything basically. But after talking to her, after gathering all the information and everything, I realized that she's actually a victim. And because in the divorce proceedings, everything is going on, and there is no way she can leave the country because she will lose her due process. Basically, she will lose her rights to represent herself properly because she is entitled in the divorce proceedings for her alimony and everything from her husband, and he himself called for it, and so she's entitled for alimony because she doesn't have any income in this country, and so we filed H for non-proton for her also, and then we basically said that her husband is not cooperating, and we said USCIS that they have to get that information from her husband. We provide the details of her husband. You have to get that information from her husband, from her husband records, and based upon that, they have to approve H for approval. I don't think any time USCIS will approve those cases. I've never seen, if you tell them to retrieve the information from other files, they will approve that. But in this case, probably they did it because our divorce proceedings were pending, and we basically provided those divorce cases and everything. We provided communications in those divorce proceedings where her husband denied providing any documentation showing that she was basically legal in this country, like his pay stubs or anything like that, because he doesn't want to disclose his income to the court or anything like that. We were able to get those emails and everything in the deposition proceedings from the divorce proceedings. We used those deposition documents and we docketed that, and we basically provided that to the USCIS. These are the informations which we got from the deposition hearings from the other lawyer. These are for confidential purposes. Basically, they cannot be utilized for any other purposes. We clearly said that. I mean, if the USCIS requests we provide those documents, we have docketed that information, but we cannot provide that because if we use that information cannot be admitted as an evidence into the other case proceedings, basically. And USCIS understood that thread. Probably USCIS find out that she has divorce proceedings pending and everything, and they approved her H1B for 1 year.
Wow.
H4 for 1 year after that.
Okay.
She's very happy because she is able to represent herself in divorce proceedings and everything. So these are two cases which I felt very emotional because I felt like these women have been taken advantage by different systems. One is by the husband, the other one is by the companies. Or maybe I do not know whether the company has taken advantage or not. It could be an error by the company, but they have to be careful when they deal with their employees and everybody. And that is my advice to them. So we did not say that companies are wrong. We said that there could be an error by the company at the time, but we were able to represent our client. See, ethically, we are obligated to represent our client, and we have to represent them jealously. So. That is our obligation. Whether it's individual or a company, we can only represent them. We cannot worry about the outside parameters, which basically comes into society and everything. And that's what we did in those cases. And in all cases, basically, that's what we do. We over jealously represent our clients. And that over jealousness sometimes makes unhappy the beneficiaries. That is basically when employers or my clients, the employees sometimes will be unhappy because we are representing employers over jealously. But that's what we are obligated to do. Ethically, we are obligated to do that. We are only beholden to our clients, not to anybody else. And that's a very important thing which I would like to inform our community people, because I know they're very well aware of these programs and they have to understand our situation as lawyers. Basically, it's just not every lawyer in this country is in the same position, and they're beholden to their clients. And so it is from behalf of our all lawyer community I'm presenting this one basically. And that's a very important thing. We are ethically obligated to our clients no matter what. And if we take up a case, we have to represent it over jealously. And that's what even our ethical rule says. The word they use is the jealous. And
Yeah,
And
thank you.
that's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a lot of information about the success stories.
Yeah.
But as you said, your personal touch is
Yeah.
the one that matters.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, personal touch. Either it's me. We are planning to expand our law firm, and we are planning to hire a few lawyers in coming days. Even when they come, what we expect is that they have their personal touch in it.
Right.
They basically involve in the case and discuss in the case, go through each and every fact clearly, and then act on that case. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense for us to take. For us, I would not say make any sense basically because what I would say is that maybe we are not over jealously representing our clients if that is what it is, which we should basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Play Cafe Art Studio, providing wide variety of art activities for beginners and masters. Paint your own ceramics, canvas art classes, weekly art instructions, pottery wheel classes, birthday parties, after-school programs, summer camps, field trips, and fundraisers for groups. Clay Cafe, conveniently located in Chantilly. Phone number 703-817-1051.
So yeah, coming back to our current affairs. So this will be a very interesting topic. Everybody have been. I mean, almost every one of my friends have been discussing about this. So with the new president, what are the changes that's going to happen to our immigration processes?
It's a very interesting question, and at the same time, it's a very difficult question to answer because there are so many innuendos going around in the world with so many local papers, social medias, and everything. So it's very difficult because we do not know actual agenda of the new government or the transition team exactly what they're looking into. But we can understand where this new government, new administration will go into based upon their campaign rhetoric, basically, and other things, basically. And in that way, I strongly believe that they will focus on the immigration enforcement. I think that is their first criteria. And the immigration enforcement means basically is that they'll make sure that people who are not following the law will not be able to stay in this country. And especially people who entered illegally into this country and or who are criminal aliens in this country. Especially the gang violent people, gangsters, drug traffickers, trafficking people, prostitutes, those kind of people. I think they will concentrate more in the beginning to basically take it out, and then later on, then they will focus on regulating the immigration into this country, what's best for this country and everything. In those focus, in the second aspect of the focus, where I think our people are concerned, our community is concerned, because our community. Many of our community people are largely dependent upon the guest worker visas programs like H-1B, L-1, and other visa programs, basically. And they're worried how these programs will be impacted by the new government and everything. I would tell you one thing. Instead of worrying, people should be optimistic with the change. Why I would say we should be optimistic with the change is because you have an opportunity to start when you have a change. Why I would say you have an opportunity to start is basically is that you have an opportunity right now to inform the new government exactly what these programs are doing for your community, for the country, in the overall nation, how these programs are basically creating the jobs, creating the wealth, and creating the economy in the country. And I strongly believe these programs are very, very important programs, very useful programs, just not only for our community, but for the nation in the entirety itself. And so it's time of where all these IT companies or healthcare companies who basically use these programs a lot, they all have to come together. I think they have to come together, form an agenda, and that agenda has to be addressed to the new government. Because one thing I saw with Mr. President is that he's willing to hear, he's willing to listen. If you look into his election campaign, all this rhetoric may not be liked by many of us, but he always listened to his critics, he listened to his well-wishers, he listened to his advisors, he listened to everybody. He has taken so much information and then he made decisions every time. Every decision he made is a very careful decision. If you look into his decision of selecting a vice presidential candidate to even any of the nominating positions, is very careful in selecting those candidates. That clearly shows that the new administration will be open to listen to people. They're not going to blindly enforce policies or regulations. They're going to listen to the people and then make a decision what is best for the country. And I'm very confident that these programs have a lot of benefit, and basically we have to address that how these programs are benefiting with the numbers and everything. Just a rough estimate with the statistics which we're looking into is that the small size companies, I'm talking about small companies means 0 to 50 employee companies, not even above 50 employee companies, which use this program highly, which are H1B dependent programs, dependent employers. Those companies in this country generate around $60 billion, $64 billion. And if you look into more numbers, basically if it goes to more numbers, I think that will be around at least 250 to 300 billion dollars basically in this country. So what I'm trying to say is basically is that IT industries is hugely dependent upon the small H1B dependent employers. One needs to understand is this basically what's happening with the government is basically is that as far as this issue is concerned, the issue is basically is that the major companies from India are basically coming and taking off the jobs from here. That's what they believe in. What they think is that every IT consulting and staffing company in this country is like a major Indian company, which comes here, they bids for low, and then keep one project manager and outsource 10 jobs from here to the back home in India. That's what they think. But actually, it's not true. Factually, it's not true. Why factually it's not true is basically all these small companies in this country, they hire people here. They keep knowledge over here. They keep the wealth of wisdom over here. They keep all the intelligence in this country. They hire people over here. They provide services over here. They pay taxes over here. They contribute to the society, community, and everything over here. They don't outsource anything abroad. So that is one thing which all these companies has to come together and make a difference. They have to identify themselves. They're different from the major IT companies coming from India doing business over here, and the small companies who are mom and pop shops, basically, which are the backbone for the economy of this country, and those companies basically what it is. And if these companies needs to understand, and the government needs to understand that how important this program for these companies are. They have to, even if they want to make changes to this program, they have to make changes to this program in such a way where the small mom and pop shop companies will be able to hire these highly qualified professionals and able to develop economy and keep the wealth and wisdom over here. Imagine in a year how many STEM students are graduating in this country and how many of them are going abroad with that wealth and with wealth of knowledge which they're gaining in the US. Wonderful institutions, probably top of the institutions in the world, giving the knowledge to them. They're basically taking back to their home countries and using that knowledge, and they're becoming competitors to the US. We have to make sure that knowledge, that wealth of knowledge, that intelligence basically stays in this country. So it is very, very important. The major worry for a lot of companies and a lot of immigration communities basically is that Senator Sessions is the one who's going to be nominated, has been nominated for the Attorney General position, right? Senator Jeff Sessions from Alabama basically is a great man. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a very honest man. He basically put up all his life for the service of the people. I don't think he ever did anything that is not for the people. He always is such a honorary man he is. And he basically been informed by the anti-immigration groups basically, like a FAIR organization, these associations, these unions basically. They are basically anti-immigration organizations basically. So those organizations provide numbers such a way where it makes him believe that something wrong is going on with these programs, And it's important, that's why it's very important that all these companies coming together on one platform without any issues or without any egos or anything like that, and address how they should address their agenda basically, how their agenda will will improve, will contribute to the economy of this country, will create more jobs to the US workers, along not only hiring the foreign worker, creating the jobs for the US workers. I will tell you, hiring one H-1B worker, it creates 5 ancillary jobs, right? 5 ancillary US jobs. Why? Because hiring an H-1B worker, it gives a job to the attorney, it gives a job to the CPA, it gives a job to the HR, it gives a job to the USCIS. And I mean, I'm just giving you a small example. What I'm saying is that these programs are not evil. It is basically how it is. These programs needs to be properly designed and properly addressed, and let the new government to understand that these programs are very, very important and vital for running the economy in this country, for the small companies' economies in this country. And certain restrictions should not be changes to the program that these programs becomes obsolete or impossible to comply with, basically. I think Senator Sessions will be very willing to listen, and I think along with Mr. Trump also will be very willing to listen. All these companies has to come together. As I said, change is always good. You always change brings optimism. I mean, I'm a realist, but at the same time, I'm an optimist. Okay, I leave it to hope. So always change is good, and then I'm very confident that this is the opportunity. All these companies come together, work together, make their information, make sure that these governments are these government servants or these particular authorities are understood exactly what the program is about and everything, and work with the government, work with the new administration to design this program such a way where it helps these companies to sustain their businesses. At the same time, it contributes to the economy in this world, in this country. There's nothing wrong in saying world, because US economy is world economy, one way or another. So there's nothing wrong to say that. It's not exaggeration. It's actually a fact. So that's what it is. Basically, is very, very important.
Madam Curie School of Science and Technology and Curie Learning After School, founded by Dr. Rao Mullapuri, a passionate teacher and dedicated mentor. Madam Curie School of Science and Technology is exemplary for early childhood education, focusing on STEM and arts. A fun, safe, and caring place. A warm environment for kids to discover, explore, learn, and grow. Built to develop the social and cognitive skills of every child. Curie Learning After School is a premier after-school institute for academic excellence from kindergarten to high school, enrichment and advancement programs in English, math, and sciences, skilled coaching for Thomas Jefferson, Academy of Science, Academy of Engineering and Technology, SAT and ACT, contributing more than 10% of freshmen to Thomas Jefferson every year. Curie Learning, the one-stop shop for all your kids' academic needs. Visit us at www.curielearning.com.
So we are on the same topic. So I also have one more question regarding this. So there are certain individuals or certain high-level administrators who deal with making these laws and rules. So how would you influence those people as a community?
Bring them in, educate them. That's what is very important. If you don't bring them in, if you don't educate them, and I'll tell you frankly, our community people does great. We have a great organizations. I'm thankful that we have those organizations, because those organizations comes in need, like Thana, ATA, and other Telugu organizations, or these other organizations are. These are great organizations. I mean, the service they do there, I salute to them. I'm proud to say that I'm part of those organizations, right? And these organizations, when they do all these activities, I think they should bring them. It's very important to bring in the attorney generals, bring in the senators, congressmen, bring in every administrative person, say secretary of state, secretaries of each and every department. Make them educate, make them understand how this community is important for this particular country, and I'm very happy to say that I'm very proud to associate with these organizations, because without these organizations, our community will not be here where we are right now. So I'm very confident that these organizations will move even more further forward, and they will, because they are in the right hands. Those people who are in the organizations are the right people. They are in the right people. They have a right vision, and they have taken this organization to a very high level.
Right.
And I'm very confident that they will be able to take it even further, these organizations, because these organizations are very important to play a very vital role on how our communities can come together.
Yeah.
Along with that, obviously, if you come into a particular industry, let's take an example, IT industry, which is IT staffing companies, I would say consulting and staffing companies, which are small mom and pop shop companies, which are basically based completely in the US. They have no offshore offices or nothing like that. Everything is in the US. Their operations are in the US.
Right.
These companies all have to come together. They're already doing that. There are certain organizations came, right? IT Serve, IT Consortium, Tech Alliance, Tech Serve Alliance. There are so many other organizations that are coming up right now. It's a pretty good thing that all these organizations are coming up. And at the same time, we have seen some other organizations are coming also, like Republican Hindu Coalition, and some other organizations are coming up. So all these organizations, these IT companies, basically, my urge to these IT companies and healthcare companies, which basically hire a lot of nurses and doctors, physical therapists on H-1B program and other visa programs, is that they all should come together. And I'm very happy to work with all these companies and everything, and basically, and become a voice on behalf of them, and come together, all of them, bring them together, and then make an agenda, exactly what is important, how we can do this. And I'm willing to work with economists in this country and get the reports, do the research on this material, which is already, on my own, I'm doing this for the last 5 years. And I would love to do it even further, because anything for the society, anything for our community, anything for our industries, which are dependent upon the particular immigration programs. As an immigration attorney, I feel it's important to worry about the immigrant communities, which are contributing to this economy and this country. I'm very confident that we can go in a very positive way, and I'm hoping everything will be good, and the new administration will be great, especially under Senator Sessions, as I know that he's a man. He will be willing to listen. Is a very, very, is a great man. Is a honorary man, and I think he's the person. Why we particularly mentioning about him is that he is one of the senators, along with Senator Grassley, who are against the H-1B visa program and other employment-based visa programs. So he is the one who actually voiced all the times. Along with other people have supported him, like Dick Durbin and other congressmen, senators have supported him, but he is the main voice, and he's probably the number one man in the Trump the Trump administration, because he's the first person who stood by Mr. Trump all the time, and so Mr. Trump admires him most and probably gives the utmost respect than anybody else. And I think he deserves that respect also. He's such a great honorary man. I'm very confident he will listen to us. We all have to come together, and we all have to have a proper agenda, sit together, and I'm very happy to burn my candles on this issue.
Sure.
If people are willing to burn with me, I'm very happy to burn my candles on this issue. And then we'll form an agenda. If possible, let's all of us come together, host a inaugural dinner for Senator Sessions, and then present our issues, our community, our business issues, basically, how our businesses are contributing and everything. In that way, basically, Senator Sessions is already aware. And as I said, some people, some organizations, they're willing to help us to get in with Senator Sessions and invite Senator Sessions for this dinner.
Great.
And everything. But I want hear from all these IT companies across the country, not just one particular Washington, D.C. metro area, but from all the country. It's great. Let's assume that if there are 500 companies, 600 companies coming together, and if they're presenting their issue, that's a huge representation of thousands of companies in this country. And that's what we are looking into. We are looking at those 500 companies coming together. I mean, sacrifice a little bit of your time and money and come together on this issue so that there is a longevity for your business, longevity for your community and everything. Because such a program, I mean, I'm very confident that your government will not put such regulations where these programs become obsolete, because they don't have any alternatives also. Unless they bring an alternative visas, it's not easy to do that, and that's a time-taking process. Meanwhile, a small guy will suffer. and we don't want the small guy to suffer,
Right.
because small guy is the backbone of the economy. Small guy is the one who provides how much? I think it's 67% to 70% of jobs in this country. So it's our responsibility that small guy is protected, and small guy is the one who is the actually economy runner. He's the one who actually spends money in the community. He's the one who actually hires the people in the community. He's the one who actually keeps the wealth of the knowledge from coming from various countries into this country. Right. And it's very, very important. If you look into this country, this is the nation of immigrants, and every successful story you hear is an immigrant from some other country. If you look into from Alphabet heads, right? Mm-hmm. Google heads. If you look into them, basically, and look at Robert Murdoch, the Fox Empire chairman. He is an immigrant in this country, and look at him, what he has done into this country. How many jobs he has created? Millions and millions of dollars of jobs. I'm not saying that every immigrant will be capable of doing that, because everybody is not Mr. Murdoch. But what I'm trying to say is basically is that these highly skilled professionals, they all come here basically to prove themselves. Right. That's only the reason why they want to come to America, because they believe this. As I said, this is the greatest nation on the earth. It gives an opportunity to prove themselves, right, what they are and everything. And I believe the new president administration is absolutely for that. His record talks about that. He basically encourages talent. He basically encourages knowledge. He basically encourages wealth, wisdom. And I don't think he ever denied any talent which coming into it. We have a lot of examples, right? We have seen so many examples. Of one from our community also, we heard someone like Avinash story recently. We have heard so many stories, right? All these talents are coming. He will never discourage talent coming into this country. So we have to make sure these small companies which are worrying that their business might affect because of the restrictions on these programs, tell them that how those restrictions are going to affect your program, and tell them that why those restrictions are obsolete, why they are not practical. Give them with the numbers. I know that we can prove it with the numbers. Right. I know we can prove it with everything cleanly. We can provide with all the economists' opinions and everything. And it's important. It's important that we need to do that. We need to preserve our business. We need to preserve our homes, and that's what it is. As an immigration lawyer, people might think I'm biased, but I'm not. I'm talking because I'm seeing in my own community. It's a fact how these companies are contributing to the economy in my own community, and that's what it is.
That's good. Plenty of information. Thank you very much.
Sitara Spa and Salon for all your beauty needs. Excellent customer service for hair and makeup for all special occasions. Specialize in eyebrow threading, waxing, and facials in a clean environment. Separate rooms and clean equipment for every servant. Experience stress-relieving scalp and shoulder massages. Best organic products and services. Special discounts for all special occasions. Offers training for a minimum fee. For appointments, call 703-955-7763.
మీకు ఒక సర్ప్రైజ్ ఉందండి. మా పిలుపు కార్యక్రమాల్లో సిటీ వాక్ అనే ఒక కార్యక్రమం ఉంది. ఆ కార్యక్రమాల్లో లాస్ట్ టైం అదేంటంటే బేసిక్గా పబ్లిక్లోకి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళ ఒపీనియన్స్ తీసుకుంటాం, మా వెండర్స్ గురించి అయినా కానీ లేకపోతే మా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ గురించి అయినా కానీ. సో అటువంటి ఒక కార్యక్రమంలో మీ గురించి కొంతమంది స్టూడెంట్స్ చాలా గొప్పగా చెప్పారు. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఆ క్లిప్ని చూద్దామండి.
డెఫినెట్లీ ఎక్సైటెడ్.
హాయ్. మీ పేరేంటండి?
నా పేరు మనోజ్ అండి.
మీ పేరు?
శ్రావణ్.
ఓకే. సో ఫ్రైడే ఈవినింగ్ కంట్రీ ఓవెన్లో ఏం తిన్నారు? ఏం స్పెషల్స్ తిన్నారు?
అంటే కంట్రీ ఓవెన్ పర్టికులర్గా చెప్పాల్సింది ఏముండదు, చాలా బాగుంటుంది కాబట్టి మేము మళ్ళీ వస్తాను. వీక్కి ట్వైస్ కంపల్సరీ. ఇండియాని గుర్తు చేస్తుందంటే ఇక్కడ డీసీ మెట్రో ఏరియాలో ఉన్నదంటే కంట్రీ ఓవెన్ ఒక్కటే అండి. దానికి మించి వేరే ఉంది అంటే నేను ఒప్పుకోను.
మీరు పిలుపు ఛానల్ వాచ్ చేస్తున్నారా?
యా అండి, వాచ్ చేసినా. మొన్న రీసెంట్గా కూడా స్టూడెంట్స్ కోసం చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చారు కదా, లైక్ భాను గారు అని లాయర్ వచ్చారు. సో మెయిన్గా ఇక్కడ ఓపీడీ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఏంటంటే చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ అవుతున్నారు. మొన్న మనం చూసే కూడా లైక్ డిపోర్టేషన్స్ అని చెప్పి చాలా వచ్చాయి. సో లాయర్ గారు వచ్చి చాలా బాగా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చారు. లైక్ ఓపీడీ అక్కడ నుండి వస్తున్న వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమి తెచ్చుకోవాలి, ఏముంటే చాలా బాగుంటుంది, లైక్ ఏమేమి జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకుంటే మీరు ఇక్కడ సర్వైవ్ అవ్వగలరు అని చెప్పి చాలా బాగా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చారు. నాకు తెలిస్తే చాలామందికి చాలా యూజ్ అయ్యింది, యూజ్ అవుతుంది కూడా. అలా పిలుపు టీవీ ఇలా చేయడం నా పర్సనల్ అయితే ఐ అప్రిషియేట్ ఇట్. ఎందుకంటే చాలా బాగా ఇచ్చారు. అంతటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే బేసికలీ మనం పర్టికులర్గా ఒకరిని అపాయింట్ చేసుకుంటే కానీ మనకు రాదు. అలాంటిది టీవీలో రావడం ఇట్స్ చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ అయిందండి అది మాత్రం స్టూడెంట్స్.
సో ఇప్పుడు ఓపీటీ స్టెమ్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ గురించి కూడా అవన్నీ కూడా మీరు ఓపీటీ స్టూడెంట్సా? ఓకే, నైస్. సో స్టెమ్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ వాటి గురించి కూడా అంతా చెప్పారు, చూసారా అది?
యా, యాక్చువల్గా స్టెమ్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ రూల్స్ గురించే చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్గా ఉండేది. సో అన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఇట్లా ఉన్నాయి తర్వాత ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ గురించి అని చెప్పేసి మాకు చాలా డౌట్స్ ఉండేది. బట్ త్రూ ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ద్వారా మాకు చాలా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ గెయిన్ అయింది. సో యాక్చువల్లీ అది చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ మాకు. సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ వెరీ మచ్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ అస్.
ఓకే,
క్లిప్ చూసారు కదా, మీ మీ హౌ డిడ్ యు ఫీల్?
Very humbled, very honored, and makes us satisfied. It gives us satisfaction
Great.
For our service and everything. That's what we expect from people, and that's what we want people to say about us for our services, basically.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got. There are plenty of questions, but yeah, this is one of those burning issues recently.
Play Cafe Art Studio, providing wide variety of art activities for beginners and masters. Paint your own ceramics, canvas art classes, weekly art instructions, pottery wheel classes, birthday parties, after-school programs, summer camps, field trips, and fundraisers for groups. Clay Cafe, conveniently located in Chantilly. Phone number 703-817-1051.
About F1s and
OPTs.
OPT issues.
Okay.
So, can you shed some light on those?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, I think everybody must have been well aware of what the regulations are right now because they're already 6 months old. Right. So everybody is well aware of those. But still, whenever we get the questions from various employers or various students, basically, they're still in confusion about the OPT and the STEM OPT. Okay, they see the OPT initial 12-month period are governed by different regulations, and the STEM OPT extension, which is basically meant only for the science, technology, engineering, management students, that is governed by entirely different regulations. That regulations will come into kick into effect only when they apply STEM OPT extension, not initial 12 months.
Right.
So initial 12 months rules have not been changed; they are the same as previously one. The STEM 12-month, 24-month OPT extension is only the ones the rules have been changed. And as per that rules, basically what it is basically is that now, previously it was not mandatorily required for an employer to show there's an ongoing training program in the company. It is assumed that the training is properly taken. The job work is itself provides training.
Right.
That's what is assumed in this first 12 months. But in the next 24 months, basically what they did is that they basically made it a mandatory on-the-job training requirement, irrespective whether he works or not. But there should be proper training must be provided by the employer for the next 24 months in the field of endeavor in which the student is graduating or graduated, basically. So that is the major important thing, and that criteria basically has come up explained. They have put too many restrictions because USCS has seen a lot of exploitation in the OPT program. Some students basically are not working, but they're working somewhere else, and they're working on a daily labor wages, and employers basically don't pay them by using the services, whatever it is. Basically, there are a lot of exploitations happening. Basically, or employers or the students basically take advantage of that. They say they're working with a particular employer, but actually they are not working with that employer. They're working somewhere else on their own will, by trading the stocks or doing whatever they want to do. They are doing their own thing, but they basically tell that this employer is the fault and everything. They try to take advantage of the system. So because of that, USAS has implemented certain restrictions on this particular program, where employee and employer both are equally liable for those restrictions, basically. So the restrictions is basically there should be on-job training mandatory on-the-job training. On-site on-the-job training, that's what they say. How do you define on-site is debatable. It's not been defined in the regulations basically. So that's what the requirements and everything is about. And obviously, certain employment relationships may not qualify for the STEM OPT extension because they think that those relationships may not be viable to provide proper on-the-job training. And but that's a debatable issue, which basically, as lawyers, we do our job. And that's the major issue with the STEM and F1 OPT extension. Second thing is very important to know is that a student can be unemployed for 90 days in the first 12 months. And he can be unemployed only 60 days in the next 24 months. So totally he cannot be unemployed more than 150 days in 36-month OPT period. That's a very, very important thing for them to understand. It's a cumulative. It's not one time, it's a cumulative. So overall period, they have to look into it. That's a very, very important thing in that. And third final point in that is basically in the first 12-month period, there can be unpaid internships. If the company has a genuine unpaid internship, it's not just to override the Department of Labor regulations, but if they have a genuine unpaid internship, they can basically hire these individuals on OPT. But in the STEM OPT, there cannot be unpaid internship. It is a mandatory paid internship, and the minimum amount of work is 20 hours per week. So they're required to pay prevailing wages as per the Department of Labor, depending upon metropolitan statistical area, at least 20 hours per week if they hire them on a STEM OPT extension basically. So there is no unpaid internships and STEM OPT extensions. Only in the first 10 months they can have an unpaid internship employment. I think it makes sense because they're already trained for 12 months, so they should be able to work a little bit more than as an unpaid intern. I think that's why I think USA has looked into that aspect. So that's a very, very important thing.
Thank you very much. That's a wealth of information about F1s and OPTs, and we can continue talking about this.
Yes.
I hope you must be seeing so many of these F1 folks coming to you with plenty of issues like this. But thank you very much, and we'll continue with many more questions during the next sessions. But before we end this session with you, why don't you just give our audience about all your information?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, my name is Bhanu Illindra. I'm the founder of BBI LawGroup PC, which is located in London, Virginia. Our law firm is in business practicing immigration law for the past 9 years in Virginia, and I'm practicing immigration for more than 13 years. I worked in various environments, in the corporate environment as well as in the private practice environment. That's my expertise comes into it, and at the same time, as I said, we are a small boutique immigration law firm. If you ever decide to utilize our services, we assure you that you get that personal interaction with us on one-on-one basis on each and every case, and we will be able to take up the case properly and advise you properly what can be done, what cannot be done. And that is only the difference I think we can tell you beyond the other people. Other thing is that we don't charge for the appointments, for the phone calls, for the initial consulting phone calls basically. And so you all are welcome to schedule appointments with our law firm, and we're happy to address the phone calls and discuss with you all. That's all I can tell, nothing more than that I can say. Okay, thank you very much. And as I said, you can visit our law firm website. It's www.bbilawgroup.com. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bhanu Illindra, founder of BBI LawGroup PC. We are proud to announce that for the past 8 years, we are serving with immigration and other legal services. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming to our studios and giving wealth of information about immigration and its issues. And we'll see you in the next session. And thanks a lot.
Sure, sir. Definitely. It's my pleasure.